Said you love me as I am, take me as I am, accept me for who I am. And those I need, tell me, say.
Love me as I am, take me as I am, accept me for who I am. Doshandirika. Love me as I am, take me as I am, accept me for who I am.
Hello everyone, welcome to Triple H, Help, Healing, Health, where we talk about lifestyle, social life and everything that has to do with our own life. So today we're going to talk about relationship and we're joined by Rumbidzai Mushonga, a bubbly person, a happy person, and today she's going to help us talk about relationship. Welcome, Rumbi.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. So let's get into it. What is the age for someone to get into in a relationship?
I don't think there's a set age for someone to be in a relationship. Mm-hmm. This is basing on the fact that we all mature at different, intervals and everything like that. So maybe let's look into, instead of, because when we look at what age is someone supposed to be in a relationship, we're kind of like putting pressure. Yeah. But maybe let's look at the factors that lead to people being in relationships rather than the age that people are supposed to be in relationships. Because look at our maturity levels. We all mature differently. If I'm to take it on me personally, by the age of 10, I already had a crush on someone. Okay. But someone who was probably 10 at my time didn't actually have that in their mind. They were focusing on just being a child and everything. So that also is something that propels us as we go into the future as to the things that mold us, come from way back. Okay. So you can't really say at 15, I'm ready to be in a relationship. At 18, I think it's really a matter of a lot of factors brought together, and that all boils down to choice and readiness rather.
So with regards to that, you remember when we were in high school, when you get into a relationship, we got all this punishment thing and you'll be told you're not supposed to get into a relationship. Can we say, because it is a cultural thing, if we have to say so. So can you say that was a wrong thing to do that, or can we say it was a way of how they were grooming us?
I think when it comes to how rather society and schools took this upon us, it was a matter of they wanted to channel us. You are a student, and they had set rules on how a student is supposed to act, how a student is supposed to, to do their daily life as a student. You're here at school to do school, and you're not here at school to do relationships. That's how they put it. Oh. But I think they were also supposed to open up to the fact that we are growing, we are actually going through adolescence, and this is the time we don't even understand what is going on. Exactly. If we don't read about it in bio class, we never get to know what's going on, So it's that thing where I think they needed to be a little open. Because we also had a social life going on at school. Yeah. You just didn't get to school, the bell rings, and then the next thing you're in class. No. I mean, you get to school, you're going to socialize, you're going to talk to people and everything, get into class. Yeah. There's break time, there's all that. So I feel like the system needed to be open to everything that is going on around the school. There's a social aspect to school, and we're going to have relationships. As at the same time, we're going to have friendships, yes, but we are also going to have relationships. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's that thing where they were just supposed to help us in that regard, channel us properly. Like, you are at school and we know that you guys are going to be liking each other in this regard and whatever, then put rules to that. You can't kiss in class. You can't fondle in class. You can't do this, because if you're punishing me for what I'm feeling inside, and I don't even know what to do with it. So now I'm punished for what I'm feeling. To me, it did not sit well with me. Hence, I probably got into trouble a lot of times because of these things. But it was that thing where are you helping us? Where are we getting this help? Who are we talking to? If I can't get it at school, I'm definitely not getting it at home. Yeah. So where am I getting it? Yeah. It seemed so wrong. They made us feel like it's so wrong to want and to be wanted or whatever, or to feel things, and we had no control over it.
Okay. Yeah. So with you, if you don't mind me asking, your first relationship? Age?
Oh, well, Mom, I hope you're not watching. But I think I was actually in my first relationship when I was like 12 years old.
Okay.
I had my crush at 10. And, I didn't even know what to do with myself. But at 12, I really liked someone. And I think they liked me back with what... But then, it was that thing where it was the time of the landline.
Yeah.
So we would call each other. We would talk on the phone and all that. That was a relationship. That was a relationship.
Yeah, it was.
For what it was, for what we understood it to be, it was a relationship. So I was 12. And it was funny because a hug meant a lot to me. I couldn't even sleep if I knew that I was hugged or I spoke to him. But it was part of that opening me up, opening to the feels that I have inside, to the emotions that I am directing. So it was 12, yeah.
When you got into the relationship at 12, who was the first person that you told that I'm in a relationship, or the first person that you were like, let me just tell them?
I mean, my sisters knew. Okay. Because of the whole landline thing, you end up knowing who's calling, you end up knowing the voices and everything. So I talked to my sisters. So good for me, I had older sisters, so I could talk to them. They had gone through what I'm going through before. So, and in the era that I was in. So I was able to talk to them. I was able to open up to them. And they kind of helped here and there, tweak and nick a little bit. And they really were... open with me. That's one thing I'm actually grateful for. They were really open with me when it came to that. So when I got home and I told them, I know I'm in grade 7, but I'm coming to you guys and telling you that I have a crush on a guy, and all that, they were like, oh, okay. Who is he, and what do you like about him and stuff. And whenever he called, they would even protect me from my parents, like, take your call from the other room and we'll make sure, we're going to cover up for you and stuff like that. So I'd say my sisters were really, really, my go-to people.
Okay. Yeah. Welcome, everyone. As we left on the issue of who did you tell? So I've got a little bit of a question, like, is it proper for us to tell our parents that you're in a relationship or you like someone?
I don't think it's a matter of it being proper, because once we put that phrasing to it or that word to it, we are kind of putting a standard to it. So I think it depends with the type of relationship you have with your parents, with the type of background you're coming from, because all of us are raised differently. There's someone who comes from a house where it's just the mom, so there are no secrets. And then there are people that are coming from a place where it's just the dad. And then there's a lot to hide if you are a girl or whatever. And then there are people that are coming from a place where they actually have both parents, but they're maybe more comfortable with one. Than the other. Yeah. So I also think when we come to relationships, let's look at it from a cultural point of view, because our parents were not born in the year 2000.
But for me personally, I think I'm a little bit close to my father. And when I was in a relationship, I would say serious relationship, I told my dad. Like, we sat down and talked everything. Then he had to kind of take me there, but you can see that he's not comfortable. With my mom, it was a no-go area, because the last time when I told her, she was like, can you go and pray about it? Then I'll go and pray about it. Then he will go and pray about it. When God answers us the same time, that's when we can come and confess the issue. But then we never got and that was it with the boyfriend. So nothing happened after that.
So you see where I was coming from with what I was saying, that with our parents, it's that thing where it depends with the relationship you have with them, yes, but also they were not born in the year 2000.
Exactly.
They are not as modern as we are. They can only move with us as much as we allow them to move with us. Yeah. So in your case, you were able to tell your father, your dad, you were able to, even talk to your mom about it and everything, because you were trying to have them move with you. But then there are people that have parents that are 70 years old, 60 years old. They are very cultural because they are justified from where they're coming from. It's only up to us to then hold their hands and walk with them and say, no, this is how it goes now. But let's go back to culture. culturally, back in the day, you would only bring a guy who is ready to marry. Because now imagine I had taken my boyfriend at 12 years old.
Yeah.
And then probably at 15 I had another one and everything. They would be thinking, what is this kid going on about? And there was never that open door relationship with most of our parents growing up because they wanted the best for us. So the best for us did not include, taking care of your socialness, before your academics. Nah, it wasn't structured like that. It was, you go to school, you do this. It was
A, B, C, D.
straight line. There were no branches to it. They were, they were, So it's a thing where this thing also of introducing our boyfriends to our parents, we should know that in as much as our parents love us, they're going to love the people that we say we also love or like.
Yes.
It's like with our friends. They can even tell you, shamwari yako ningia ya mawan or siyamkhumona uya uyanogara kangokutimira pa gate bye havasi vakomana ve airtime ere. So by that saying, it's that thing yekuti our parents also measure kuti kudza kwavakaita, the type of choices we get to make.
Okay.
So vamwe vacho get so invested in the relationship zvekuti once I break up with this guy, the next guy I'm going to bring anenge achitonzi John aitovanani dai ari John atouya akabata fanta dai atori John auya akabata fanta zvino ava vanouya vakabata mapotatoes, that type of thing where they're keen to comparing. They're going to do that.
Ari kufamba
mana anofamba netsoka mazano dai ari John uya tikada totokwidza benzi tatoenda, that type of thing where it's our parents. They want the best for you, and then when they see you going down the graph manje kuti they invest. They don't just invest in us, they invest even in the decisions that we make. So I feel like, yes, you might want to introduce data to your parents just to have a feel of what they feel about this person, but also look at yourself. Before we think about all these other factors, look at yourself. Am I ready to introduce this guy to my parents? And for what reason? Always ask yourself the reason why. Why am I doing this? Why am I in this relationship? Why am I introducing him to my parents? And so otherwise you introduce 100 guys to your parents. Mafling, mchenda navo to your parents, to my relationship to snabasa, taking them there. I think I liked that idea. Introduce the guy that's serious about you, that wants to get married. In as much as marriage actually is not for everyone. When you realize, okay, this is my life partner, or this is a long-term thing that I'm doing with this guy, then maybe, mama, daddy, at this moment in time, marriage might not be my end goal, but this is the person one to go in nanai. Because when you're in a relationship, remember, you also have goals as a couple. To meet your set goals and everything. So maybe it's okay that they know kuti munhu akakudvance 500 yakavakisa chikwere chehuku ndiye so it's also that thing where are you going? It's really a thing of choice. We can't really put it kuti there.
But isn't it different, guys and girls? Because I've seen a lot of guys, they introduce different girls and the parents will be fine. He will go with Diana, then the next years go with who and who. And you even see that the person that he gets married to is the girl that is not even from the previous life. And with girls, if you go with different guys, maybe it's an issue.
It goes back to culture. Okay. Our culture understands kuti vanhu vechirume, they are okay, vanongozivikanwa kuti they are okay with having a couple of relationships because vari panguva yekutsvaga. Vanenge vachingonzi vari kutsvaga. Isusu vatsvagwi vacho manje kuti ndizouya nevangu vakawanda kuti this is what is going on, this is what's up, you tend to look loose. Okay. You get it? Yeah, I get it. It's about our social standards as well, where we are said to be loose if I'm introducing a lot of these guys. But for a guy, it's okay because even the mother, so they also get that. Yeah. But they are more open to the bashing that comes from the parents and everything. To us as females, we are just emotional. I'm going to take it, heartbreak. And do I go back to my parents crying now and saying, Anna John Shakazoramba? We were breaking, when you break up with this guy, you're also breaking your parents' hearts and everything. So I really don't know. I wouldn't want to say I know. But personally, I've never introduced a guy to my parents. Well, to be honest, tinopinda navo paget sometimes and say, these are my friends. I want to get part of the friends. This is my friend Ningi. But tipana Ningi umwe ipapa. Zvanguvharana ipapo zvichingopura zvakadaro, avangonzi mashamwari ake, because that's that thing also yekuti kuti sevasikana tiintroduce vakomana as friends kumba, it took a lot. Vamwe havatokwanisi because unonzi uri kutamba nevakomana pakai. You know what I mean? But it was okay for guys to play with girls, but for us kuti tinzi tinotamba nevakoma, saka vacho vari kunzi kuvakomana okay to play with ndevapi ndisuka. So there are a lot of loopholes there. I don't want to lie. And ndozvandirikuti then boils down to what type of a family do you come from? Even if you come from a certain family, inoita zvakadai, what type of a person are you? To be able to know kuti this I can introduce to my parents, this I can do by myself, this personal choice.
Guys, I hope you're having fun and you're enjoying this topic. For any comments, please comment right down there and just talk and just let us know what you're feeling about this relationship issue. And we're going to bring Rumbi back. We're going to talk about marriage and rest of other topics that has to do with relationship and marriage. So I hope you guys will be tuned in at that time. So Rumbi, let's close the show. Here's my last question. We were talking about tete. I heard you talking about tete. Back then, our parents would go kunana tete. If they get into a relationship, go na tete, then they get married. And nowadays, yes, it's still there. But is it, should I say necessity? I don't know if it's the right word for us to go kunana tete and say, tete, this is so and so, we're getting married.
Wow. Okay. So, Nyayana Tete, I think there's nothing whatsoever that should take us away from culture. In as much as there are a lot of things we question as the modern day, people, Kuti, how did this go? We can improve on some of the things because there are a lot of loopholes.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to Anatete, it's that thing where I believe Anatete should always have a relationship with Vanave and Jadzavo, because where I can't talk to my mom and my dad, I also want to be able to talk to my aunt. From growing up to where I'm going. In as much as that is not the case in all families, because kunevamwe anatete avatonan nema family members, so it also goes back to family structure. It also goes back to the relationships that we have with the people that are around us. So in the event that your tete is there and that you have a great relationship with her, then great, why not? And kuna tete, you also get that information unozia yawanga usingambosibvunze iwewe because you are the one who's in love. But tete cares about you from a parental perspective. You get it. In as much as iwewe pamwatadza kutaura nemaparents ako kune vaya vasingazogone kuintroduce to their parents, but ukataura natete vanotokubvunza questions are important avanoziva kuti your parents would love to also have addressed or answered before you take your relationship to the next step. So that relationship with tete is important because tete vanokuonesa, and iwo chivaonesawo even pavasiri kukunzwisisa vakakunzwisisa vanoitawo bridge the gap between you and your parents kuti vakunzwisise. But in the event yekuti tete avapo, I can't talk to my tete, atina relationship, atina chi, you always have someone you trust, like your siblings. Kana tete varamba kuna nambuya in relationships where unogona kuenda kuna mbuya can actually stand in the place of tete. So kana usina relationship na tete, wendo kuna mbuya would do the same zvangadai zvaitwa natete. But if usina kana relationship with both your mbuya, your tete, you have siblings. Kuna vanhu vekumaraini, I know inini kumaraini kune that friend yamama wako sawira vaivai unotoenda ikoko sawira yamama, and she's like, your mama ndauya nyaya yangu yakamira yakadai because we're just looking for someone to bridge the gap.
Okay. But The issue now is, let's say you have a relationship with your tete. Waenda kuna tete wako. Wataura everything kunana tete. Because mapedza kutaura zvese. And waenda nemkomana, because kwa tete kunindwa, unaenda pane pa unaenda wega, also enda nemkomana wako kunoita the introduction, ndiye muvunzwa ma questions. Everything zviri kufamba. Then all of a sudden, you know things happen in life. Iwe mkomana wako mubva marambana. Pamwe tete vasvitsa shoko kuna uyu. So can we say that kuti ndo yafie our age now to go kuna tete and say, tete, this is my boyfriend, this is my fiance, or this is so and so, and we are planning to get married.
But if you were brave enough to go to Tete and tell her, "Kuti, this is what's up," be brave enough to go back to Tete and say, "Angatori ma one pai Tete taitonye perwa, taitonye because angato itiswa mese pai pega ndimina Tete." So it's better to just go back through that same channel and say, "Tete, in as much as mkomana ndanga namuraka, Tete, to be honest, Jaramba, let's be honest. Let's learn to not harness things inside, but to let it out there. Tete Jagaramba. You know, I don't think anyone is going to really put you in prison just because you have a failed relationship.
Yeah.
No, I mean, take it out there and just say, Tete Jaramba. If anything, go to your parents and say, I know Tete Vangavashitsa Shogo, but Jaramba. You know, because Jaramba, it's not like Ajazoya. But it's like Jaramba. You know?
All right. Thank you very much for joining us today at Anakizwa, and I hope everyone, you have enjoyed this segment. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and also comment. Your comments, guys, comments, please. Then next time, we'll bring Rumbi again and talk about marriage and what is marriage, basic things about marriage. If you've got other questions that you have, make sure that you write them down. Then we can feature them in the next episode. So with this, I say bye. Bye.
I said, love me as I am. Take me as I am. Accept me for who I am. And those I need. Tell me, say.
Love me as I am. Take me as I am. Accept me for who I am. Doshandirika. Love me as I am. Take me as I am. Accept